Hey, what's going on guys? John Shea here, and today in this video what I'm going to be doing is actually giving you a review of the Thrive Themes Quiz Builder. If you guys haven't heard about this tool yet, it's actually fairly new. I'm recording this here about mid-February. So what this tool is all about, it's another addition to one of the many awesome tools that you can get with the Thrive Themes, like other suites of systems that they have and other tools they've got. I'm a huge advocate of their content builder and some of their other tools like Thrive Ultimatum. What they ultimately have here with the quiz builder is the capability to create different quizzes based on pretty much whatever you want. You could create a quiz about, what are the best like Star Wars characters, and you could throw in a bunch of images, or you can have question and answer kind of setups. One of the things that I initially thought when going into this was that when you hear the word quiz, you do have to keep in mind that this isn't really going to be as open-ended as something like, say, like Typeform, where you could put in like different types of answers, like short text boxes, long text boxes, Q&A, multiple choice, all that stuff. This is very, very standard for just quizzing, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. So let's talk about what some of the features are and what this ultimately does do for you. I'm not going to read everything in the sales page, but the idea is that this is a basic quiz builder. It does have some cool sort of advanced features where you can kind of do if-then. So like if someone answers a specific question, you can actually make it so they go down a different path. So if someone says, yes, I like to cook, then maybe you could send them down a path where they answer more questions about cooking. But maybe if they say no, you send them down a different path where you talk about something completely different. So you can kind of branch your questions into other questions and ultimately send people down specific paths. The really cool thing I like about this is that they have the capability where someone can start the quiz, they go through, answer all the questions, and they haven't put in any information about who they are. And by the end of that quiz, in order to get their results, they have to put in their name and email address. So you can actually use this for marketing and basically get people to put in their name and email address. And now you're building your email list while also giving them something that's fun and engaging to actually, hopefully get some sort of result out of. So they've got a ton of stuff on the sales page here. You can kind of see, here's like a sample. What's your favorite activity on vacation? You could add in like images, partying, going on a hike, eating local cuisine, getting a tan on the beach. So at the end of this, people could put in their answers and then you can see who picked what. You can offer them content based on their interests. So this was what really intrigued me. You can see here they give an example where basically you could tell someone, hey, you're a beginning golfer. They kind of throw in different questions about golfing. So if they answer those wrong, maybe they end up being someone that doesn't know a whole lot about golfing and they're a beginner. Whereas if they answer everything right, they could be a 100 club golfer. So they're, someone that's going to know exactly what they're doing and they know everything about golfing. So it's kind of a really cool way you can segment people down these different paths, and you could set it up however you want. You can also segment based on interests. So, they're talking about things like losing weight, or what else do they have in here for samples? Let's see, fitness, building muscle, so that's kind of an example in the fitness niche. You can do A/B testing, so this is really cool. If you wanted to test different types of quizzes, you can actually compare them and do A/B split testing against different types, see which ones perform better in terms of generating leads. And they've got a lot of analytics built in. You can do 3 different quiz types. You've got the number, percentage, and personality type. Different templates for all the forms and everything. You've got a badge editor, so when people finally complete the quiz, you can do some cool stuff there. You can weigh the questions based on different weight, like what's maybe worth more. They have an easy builder, so everything's all drag and drop. I'll show you that here in a few. The opt-in gates, that's going to be huge for marketing. You've got your A/B split testing, different question types, mobile friendly. Everything's all like very easy to get going with their wizard, and they also have a dashboard where you can see everything that's going on. Right now, depending on when you're watching this video, they're running a special initially during the launch where it's going to be only $33 to pick up a single site license. I actually went and bought the 5 license pack because I had some intention thinking that if I ever decide to run some other websites and I want to do quizzes for lead gen, that I wanted to have the capability to put this on some other websites. So let's actually dive in and I'll show you what this is all about. So I'm actually logged in now, and I'm actually going to go to the dashboard inside my site. I've already got the plugin installed. basically once you come in here, you have the ability to add quizzes. I started playing around with one for list building, and I'll show you what I did there. It's pretty basic. There's not really much there, but you could see from a glimpse how many people have subscribed, how many people have shared it, like through Facebook or Twitter or whatnot. You can get a report on metrics, like how many people maybe started the quiz, how many people finished it. And then you can also add more quizzes. So we'll do a new one from scratch, and I'll kind of walk you through it. So you could build one from scratch. You could do one that's based on list building and do one that's based on social shares. These are basically just templates that they give for you that you can modify. Of course, if you do build from scratch, you can do whatever you want. Let's do the one for social shares. Another thing to keep in mind is as you're going through the quiz builder, they have these little play buttons, so you can actually hit play and a video will pop up where some of the folks at Thrive Themes will actually explain how these work and all the functionality you need to know about their tool. So let's do social shares. I'll leave it as the default name. And now you basically have a few more options. Again, you can change the quiz name up here. You've got your short code, which you can implement into any WordPress page. Very easy, any page or blog post, so you can put it anywhere on your website. Now you've got quiz types. So we basically want to select the type. Do we want a number type? So this would be like you get a final score of some kind. This would be you get a final percentage of some kind. And then you also have a category base. So this could be something like a personality type quiz where they answer a bunch of questions, and based on the answers they gave, they get a, an ultimate, hey, here's your personality type. So that's a really cool one that I'm hoping to spend a lot of time with myself. I have an idea of how I want to use that. I'm pretty excited about it. So let's do like a percentage one just to give you a demo here. Now we've picked the quiz type. Now we can do choose a quiz style. So now you get some styles, which are basically just templates of how things are going to look, and they give you 1, 2, 3, 4 different types. So I actually picked this one for my first one, so I'm going to do this kind of bluish green one. So now if you wanted to change that, you can come back and change. You also optionally can create a social share badge. So let's do that, and I'll show you how that works. This would be something where maybe you have another template you could throw in. Here I'll do kind of this blue one that's somewhat similar. You have some options to change stuff over here, so you can tell people a little bit about what it's about, and ultimately they're gonna have their results show up here. And this is something where they could, basically share this at the end. So it was a really cool little feature they added in there. Let's go back. So I created my social badge. I'm not going to spend all this time in this video like customizing everything for you guys, but now you've got kind of a built-in piece here where they give you the option of the structure of the actual quiz. So if we go to the main page, this is going to be ultimately the start of the quiz. So we can hit edit, and now we get a drag and drop builder that's actually using the same thing as the Thrive content builder. And this is what it looks like when people, ultimately start the quiz. So we could call this, what's your favorite dog breed? Just a random. So that could be like the start of the quiz. You could give a little introduction, and they'll hit start the quiz, and that's going to bring them through that. So we'll hit save. Let's go back. You could also add split tests here. So this is where the split testing comes into play. You could add in another variation of that and see, which one is actually getting more people to start going through it. So if we go back, let's add some questions now. It kind of shows you as you're going along. So we've done our splash page. We can now add some questions. And this is where things get really cool. They have this drag and drop builder. So not only do you have a little navigator here, you can kind of move this around if you want to build things out, but you can add questions. So you have two choices. You pretty much can do this with multiple choice with buttons, or you can do multiple choice with images. So let's just do buttons to keep it simple. We could do something here like, do you like golden retrievers? I don't know, something random on that whole dog breed thing. And then now you could say, yes, I do. And now you could allocate points to it. So you could say that's 5 points. If they do, maybe if they don't like golden retrievers, they only earn 2 points. So that's kind of an example of how you can weigh the points, since we're doing a percentage based. And then you could also add in other things, like you could say whatever you want here. Ultimately, the answer doesn't have to be yes or no. It could be anything you want. You hit save, And I have noticed this has been a little slow. I don't know if it's my website, but this does seem to save for me. And if I X out of it, I usually see the question was already added. So now you can see it here, and you can drag this around, and then you can add other questions. And ultimately, do you like Bichon Prise? I used to have a Bichon, so we'll just do something similar. Could say yes, no. We'll do the same thing. 1 point for no. So you can see it does add it. I don't know why this ultimately doesn't saving. I don't know if this is a bug or if it's my website, but I'm going to X out of it. And then from here, you can kind of drag what's going to happen. I have noticed this is a little funky. I haven't played around with it a ton, but it looks like you can kind of start, different things. So you could drag this into different avenues here, and anything you want to do, you could see how the functionality of this would work, where ultimately you're going to have it going to different stages. So I have to spend a little bit more time with it. I think, I can see here starting to drag this. It's like now it almost like breaks this. So this is one thing I've found so far that I haven't been super fond of, but I think ultimately this is just something I probably need to learn or go watch, check out the documentation on how to exactly use this, so I know that I've got it right. But this is something where you're going to ultimately be able to bring people down different paths, and you'll have all your questions over on the right sidebar. So once you've got all that set up, that's pretty much what you're going to get out of the main piece here. So that's kind of giving you a sample of how that works. And if we look at the results page, you can actually set up a page where once they answer all the questions, hey, congratulations, this is your answer, and then here's that social share box where you can see the share buttons up there. So this is kind of a sample of what they'll get at the end. Obviously, you can customize the imagery and everything you would need there. The other really cool thing, which I'll show you in the other one I built, is you can actually add an opt-in gate. So same exact setup, but in this case, I have one additional page. So they come in, they hit start quiz, they answer the questions, and then they get this opt-in gate, which this is basically a lead form. And it's something very simple that says, hey, great job. If you want to get your results, submit and go to the results. So you put in your name and email, and it's not really like you're really trying to engage people like, hey, get on my email list, I'm going to market all this stuff to you. It's more like, hey, get the results that you just filled in all these questions and answers, submit your name and email to go get your results. So this is a really cool way to start generating leads, and that's what I'm so excited about. Now, if we go back, I also wanted to show, wanted to give you guys a sample. This is the one I made. I just called it the Entrepreneur Path, and I've actually had an idea for a while, and if you guys are watching this, I'd love to hear feedback. I want to start a quiz where people will fill out questions based on their own interests, and based on those interests, it will kind of guide them down a path of entrepreneurship. Like, if you answer these questions, then maybe I'll suggest you should, invest some time in learning how to do SEO, or maybe you should invest some time in learning how to start a blog or build a WordPress website. So those are things that I'm thinking of doing myself with this, and I'm really excited about that because I think it will help a lot of people. But I made a really short one. It's just one answer. So you can see here, this is live. Again, I could put this on a landing page like within the Thrive Content Builder, make it look a little nicer. We'll hit start quiz, and it's going to load. I put in one question. Do you like the idea of having clients that you charge for your services and communicate with on a regular basis? So you could say yes. And that was the only question I did. So there's not really much going on in terms of results, but then they'd fill in their name and email, submit, and this gets added to my email autoresponder, and then they'll get basically sent to another page where it will give them results based on the questions that they filled out. So ultimately, if I wanted to set this up fully, I would have a whole bunch of questions. They'd fill all that out, and then once they fill all the information out, I could kind of guide them down a path. So I'm pretty excited about this. I think this is a pretty cool tool. Overall, I have had, again, a little bit of issues with saving some of the questions, but I imagine maybe that's just my website, or maybe something that they just need to fix. I'm not 100%, but it's a really cool tool. Overall, haven't had any issues with it. One last thing I wanted to show you guys was there's a blog post here, and I'll leave a link to it in the article, depending on where you're watching this, like on YouTube or if you're watching on my blog. There is a really good sample here that they put up on their blog about creating something that has some personality in it, shareability, and kind of talking about how this is going to help you with content marketing and generating leads. And they give an example with Derek Halpern of Social Triggers, where he has a what type of entrepreneur are you? Click here to take the short assessment. What stage of business are you in? And you answer the question. You enter your email to see the results, and then he basically gives you a final answer. So exactly the same sort of setup you can set up here with the quiz builder. So if you guys decide to pick this up, I am going to throw in a bonus. I haven't 100% picked what that bonus is yet, but most likely if you're watching this video, either check out the link below on YouTube, or if you're watching it on my blog, you should see a link right below this video where I've included a bonus for those of you guys who pick up the Thrive quiz builder. Thanks for watching, and I hope this video helped.